Hey guys, I'm Sin.
I'm Joy,
and welcome to Big Girl Pantease,
where you get a plate of positivity, a side of bluntness with accountability for dessert because
Accountability ain't a dirty word. To all of our new Pantease gang joining us for the very first time, we say thank you so much for checking us out. We do have 22 other episodes that we would like for you to check out, so go to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to your DSPs. We so appreciate you, and we hope that you stick with us for the long haul.
For those who are returning, a part of the Pantease gang who've been rocking with us since day one, or this is your first day, we just want to say thank you so much. We appreciate the love. If you could like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, we would appreciate that.
Thank you.
And thanks again for putting them on with us.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you so much. Okay, so today's topic is insecure Pantease.
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory.
A little bit.
However,
just in case you may not know what insecure means, I'll give you the definition out of Oxford Dictionary.
That's the real one, right?
Insecure, deficient in assurance, beset by fear and anxiety. And then the second part said, not highly stable or well-adjusted. I'm sure it is. Everyone can relate to being insecure. We have stories as usual because we are storytellers.
Yes.
So we hope that while we tell our stories, you'll be able to reflect maybe some things that you're a little insecure about, and hopefully you can work through them. So go ahead, Joy.
So first of all, insecure is something I believe that's taught or something that is created over time. When we are born, we are essentially born perfect. In God's eyes, created in his image, just like we are, no prejudices, no nothing. We are fascinated by bodily functions, by our hands, by our feet. I mean, it's just, we're perfect.
Picking in your nose.
Well, that comes later. That's nasty. No, that's nasty.
All bodily functions.
Okay, I'm just saying, but we are born secure until things happen in our lives that give us an insecurity, a deficiency, something where we thought we had something. It might have been a little cocky. Check out Cocky Pantease episode 2.
Yep.
But something happens that changes the trajectory of how we feel about ourselves. And I guess the first question is, what is the root of insecurity? So for me, there's a saying by Louise Hay that says, we choose our parents. And I'm one of the girlies who did not grow up with her dad. And I believe that some of the roots of insecurities in relationships had to begin with my first relationship with a man, which was non-existent. So because I did not grow up with my dad, we barely had a relationship. We would write letters, but he was not in my life. And I believe that created an insecurity of who I was as a person, because you're not created on your own. My mom and my dad created me. Now, here's the thing about insecurity. Once you get to the root of it and realize that you're operating from your deficiency, operating from your insecurity, it is on you to acknowledge it and move forward. You can only play the blame game for so long.
And you can only fix the problem if you know what the problem is.
Exactly. So you can't stick your head into the sand and be like, oh, no, that's not a thing. So I guess
you can, but you just won't be happy.
Well, and then you're also you'll try to understand why things are falling apart in your life and understand that there is, everything is all connected. Mm-hmm. And until you are honest with yourself about what your deficiencies are, shout out to the Hood Healer, until you're honest with yourself about what your deficiencies are, you won't ever be able to get underneath them and fix them. So for me, because I did not grow up with my dad for a very long time, I had insecurities about not feeling enough, not feeling beautiful, not feeling pretty. And the funny thing is, when I became an adult and had conversations with my mom, I felt like she was supposed to be the one to instill that in me. And when we had that conversation later as an adult, it's so funny. My mom was like, I thought you knew. I thought you knew. I didn't know I had to instill it in you. I thought you just knew. And I had to explain it to her that that's not how that really works. The positive average, just, okay, you see something, but without the affirmation of it, I didn't know. And children are flowers, are gardens. And you must water those gardens. And now, granted, Ma, I know you watch the show. I ain't blaming you. I love you. And I've obviously done my work. And that was my path that I chose. But I did notice that because I didn't get that positive reinforcement, it also trickled over into other areas of my life that I've dealt with and worked through. So that's really my kind of first story. I got stories.
Oh, we got
I
some
got
stories.
two.
You
I got
already
two
know.
real
You've
stories.
been
I'm just,
rocking
I'm
with
just,
us.
I'm just, I like to warm it up. You know,
we go
like
in
the
order.
foreplay.
Yeah.
Gotta warm it up.
It's just a little kiss, a little first base for you.
Yeah,
Then we're
your
gonna get
little-
to second base,
Damn it.
third base, and then
Damn
we're gonna
it.
bring it on home. Unlike Joy, I grew up with my dad. But I had a different insecurity. I grew up with both parents. My dad was not in the home. I lived with my mom. Shout out to Harlem. Born and raised in Harlem. My dad lived in Queens. Saw my father every day. He came over after work every day, took me to the park, took me for pizza with my friends. So I had a very active dad. I had an older father. That's where the insecurity kind of started a little bit. My dad was 61 when I was born. My mother was 32. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to both of them. That's-
Yeah, the both
hello.
of them. My dad did not look his age. He looked like he was like maybe 43, 44 years old, 6'5", 180 pounds, jet black hair. I mean, that man had swag. He had je ne sais quoi, whatever you want to call it, he had it. And my father being an older man, it was always like people little giggles and little side comments when we would leave the building, because they're like, there's no way that old man is that little girl's father. And first of all, I look just like my dad for the most part. I look like my mom, but I have a lot of my dad features. Same height, complexion, forehead. I got a 5 head just like he did. So it started there. A lot of people, oh, that's not his child, and this, that, and the third. Not that my mom or my dad gave a damn, because they knew the truth. I knew the truth. But I used to see people's reaction when we would leave the building. On top of that, as I just said, I'm 5'11". I was the tallest girl in class. I was the tallest girl out of the boys. I was the tallest girl out of the girls. I was the last one online. I was very skinny growing up. I was light skinned. So I was picked on. And I was always told, oh, you think you're cute, or you think you're better than other people. And it created an insecurity for me, because all I wanted was friends. I wasn't trying to, I didn't ever thought that I was better than anybody. I wasn't trying to showboat or anything like that. I was just grateful I was just trying to survive. I didn't have brothers and sisters, and kids could be very mean growing up. I just wanted to befriend everybody. And trying to do that, I would get bullied and I would get picked on. And being skinny, and as I was growing up, I was the last one in my group to develop. I developed late. I was a stick figure, and shout out to the girls that are slim who has not developed yet. Trust me, God has a plan. In due time, you will develop. Just let God work. Let nature work. It got to a point where even when I was like 18 years old, I spoke to my mom and I told her I want breast implants. I was like a A cup, and I just felt like my body shape was not what I wanted to be. So I had insecurities about that. Thank God for my mom, because she said, if in 5 years you still want breast implants, then I will support you. I was 18. I'm so happy I didn't listen to her, because as you can see.
No, you did listen to her.
I mean, that's what I mean.
You did? And I was like, you got breast implants?
Thank God I did listen to her, and I didn't listen to other people, and didn't look at society, and I left my body alone. And as you see, I have developed just the way God intended for me, and they're all natural, okay? So my insecurity was because I just didn't feel like I was pretty enough. I was too tall. I had the cool personality. I was pretty, but I didn't have the body. I mean, I had friends that was like 11, 12 years old that was developed, and I was like flat chested, no booty, still figuring out my hair because I didn't have a perm yet. I had acne, Proactive wasn't working, Dr. Zismo wasn't working. So I had so many things going on, and I was not a ugly duckling, but I definitely had an awkward phase. So a lot of you out there might be in your adult phase and you're still going through an awkward phase. You might be getting adult acne. You might be going through menopause and your body's changing, your hormones are changing. Don't let what society deems as beautiful, as normal, as pretty, define who you are. Everyone has their own path, and I'm so grateful that that was instilled in me from my parents, because it allowed me to remember that what I think about myself is the only thing that matters. And now I love myself immensely. I'm always trying to be better, but
Right.
my insecurities in that part kind of faded away.
I do understand about the insecurity about, as I said before, about, what I looked like. My insecurity was it was hard for me growing up. I know people are gonna be like, oh, here we go with it. But I had a really big insecurity about being so light. I hated the fact that when I felt like I looked in the mirror, I saw a black girl. But I felt like when other people looked at me, they didn't. So it was like that was an insecurity for me, because I'm like, I am, and you can't see it, and you'll treat me differently because of
You
it.
can't see
but-
what I can see. You're
but-
blind, baby. You're blind to the fact.
Right. No, that was a real thing. Obviously, I've gotten over it as I've become an adult. A lot of the insecurities that you have that may be about your looks, if you do the work, you'll grow out of them. Because here's the thing. We are exactly who we're supposed to be.
Yep.
We've chosen this incarnation. We chose our parents. We chose what we wanted to look like. We've chosen all of that. And for whatever my reason is, this is what I chose to reincarnate or to come in as. And all of the lessons that come from that are something that I need to learn. And then I'll need to impart it into other ways of helping other people and et cetera. But the funny story of, I'm thinking about everything in high school, because the high school was a rough ass. It was
a
great.
time, yeah.
But it was like
was lit, but it was crazy.
but it was a lot of insecurities. And a week before prom, I know, we're going to tell a story. We're going to tell a story.
Do it.
I was having a little breakdown a week before prom.
Why
I wasn't
didn't you
happy.
come to me?
I wasn't happy with my eyebrows.
in Atlanta.
I wasn't happy, right? Because you were,
I was
you
in
were
the
gone.
college.
Yeah, by the time.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, you were gone. You were gone. This is my senior year, right? So,
Oh.
child, my eyebrows was looking crazy, and I had tried to fix them. And it was not working. So then I ended up having to shave my eyebrows off. And then I tried to cut a bang, but then the bang was too short. And child, I was just,
I can only imagine, because I got a visual.
never, like, you know how they say don't make decisions when you're happy, or don't make decisions when you're angry. Don't make decisions when you're having a mental breakdown, okay? And
oh my God.
yeah, so at my
I used to do her hair and eyebrows.
right,
But I was away
she
in
was
college.
gone. She was away in
I
college.
was in Atlanta, so
Right.
she
I
was on her
I
own,
was in
poor thing.
senior year.
And I never seen it. Have I seen the pic?
No, girl.
Does it exist?
I had drawn
pull it
on.
out?
I had drawn on
Transparency,
eyebrows for the prom.
boy.
You ain't gonna never see that motherfucking picture. No,
I tried,
No.
y'all. I
I'll find
tried.
my
I
prom
was trying
picture.
to-
My little side bang. You can tell my hair. I had cut my own hair. It was just.
Damn. Oh, I wish I could see
Listen,
that.
you are beautiful.
You're showing me that.
Just fuck you. You are beautiful just the way you are.
Yes.
Don't
go
let
cutting your bangs
nobody
before prom.
Don't try to do your eyebrows and
Don't
your hair
do it.
yourself if
Please
you don't know how to do it. No,
Don't do it. Please don't do it, because you're
But-
going to be.
Yeah, you thought you was insecure before.
Oh, my God. And when you cut a bang too short, it ain't shit you could do about that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
The eyebrows were first, and then I tried to cut the bang. Either way, I'm rambling on to say insecurity gonna kick your ass if you don't get up under it, okay? Like, for real. And
1-2
honestly,
punch.
and mostly, what's so funny is when I go and look back, I mean, aside from with the light eyebrows drawn on and the bangs, right?
We've all had those moments.
We've all had those moments. I was in high
I used
school.
to draw my eyebrows on too. So
Right, but no, but there's nothing wrong with drawing them on or microblading. All that shit is fire. But it's like when you go back and look at old photos of yourself, you know, you really thought you really didn't look that great. And then you go back and you be like, damn, what was I insecure about?
Or
Why?
you thought you was looking great,
See.
and you maybe at that moment was like,
Well, we all have an awkward
Okay.
phase. We all have an awkward phase, but I've gone back and looked at old photos and been like, it really
good.
was in my head.
Yeah.
Like, and
it's in most people's.
Exactly. And the point I'm trying to drive home is don't lead with your insecurities, because when you lead with your insecurities, you're going to be vibrationally attracting things that are going to make you feel insecure. You're going to
But you put out, you get back.
Exactly.
Kind of works that
so
way.
whatever you're vibrating on, because you can say you can be confident and cocky and all that. Cocky panties. But if it's not really how you truly feel, you're going to attract how you feel.
Yep.
Always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind.
Yep.
I can't believe I told an eyebrow story, child.
Girl, we've told worse. Side panties. I mean, season 1. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, we're on season 3.
You know what? That's a great problem to have.
Episode 3, season 3.
problem to have. I'm forgetting how many episodes and seasons. Well, y'all know, side panties. My next insecurity kind of came as an adult. It was in not my first relationship, but in my second, which is the one that I say was to this day, my probably truest love. We were together 5 years and 9 months. And when we first got together, I remember he was still really good friends with his ex. And that made me insecure as I don't know what. I knew what we had. I knew he was in love with me. I knew I was in love with him. That man did not play about me. Shout out to J. May, rest in peace. That man did not play about me, and I did not play about him.
No.
But, knowing that he was still having conversation with somebody that he was, dealing with and dating at one point, it just didn't sit well with me. And it's funny because the tables kind of reversed a little bit shortly after that, and he became the insecure one with my close friend. Shout out to my boy Jimmy from Junior High School. That became his Achilles heel, and he became insecure. So it was interesting for me to be the woman and being insecure in the first couple of months, and then a year later, when he couldn't understand my insecurities, now all of a sudden he wanted some understanding. And it was funny because it caused a lot of friction between us. And I used to sit back and say, well, let me examine why I feel insecure about it. And it was really nothing concrete. Like, I've heard voicemails that was left. It was nothing disrespectful. He would let me know if she called. And again, I knew what we had, but yet and still, I guess like I said back in season 1, I still had, maybe it was season 2, I still had that 5% that I'm still working on of giving a fuck. And I gave a damn, and it bothered me, and it caused a lot of arguments, and it made me say, well, what is it about her that he still wants to talk to her? Well, why do they still have this connection? And sometimes in order for you to understand someone, you have to be put in that situation. And that's what it took for him to understand later on. Okay, things can really be platonic, and I just have to trust my person. Trust is a big thing, and insecurities can break trust because you're building so much up in your head that's not even there. We make up so much, like, especially if you're an overthinker like I tend to be, you will create a whole story that never happened in your head because you're sitting there running on insecurity. Well, I wonder why he's calling. Well, where was he at last night? You know the answer to these questions. So I just really had to stop nagging him about it. And I had to sit down and say, if you love this man and trust what you have with this man is really that, then you need to let him be him. Whatever is done in the dark going to come to light anyway. And I have a real great spirit of discernment. Thank God. God gave me a spirit of discernment, and it's something I pray for daily. God has told me things that I've gone to people, and there's no way I could have known. Right. Including him. Right. So it's interesting because I thought, once I developed my little body and, was in college and had a job and was doing the things that society says, you should be doing, I was still insecure. And I realized it's all within me. And until I sat down to do the work, I couldn't move forward. And when I did, my relationship got so much better.
That's funny because one of the major insecurities that I had was in a relationship, actually. One of my, I wouldn't say my first boyfriends, but one of the first. Like, we ended up living together, and we were together in our early 20s. And this was also a part of, first of all, mind your business. I'm gonna just stay.
Mind your business. Just mind your business.
Mind your business. That's right. That's number one. You should never, even in a relationship, be invading your partner's space. And when I say invading your partner's space, like going through their shit, right? So
you gonna find what you looking for. Trust and believe that.
Okay. So he had left a journal at my house.
I remember that.
1938. No, it's not. This is not 1938 though. You know who this is. This is Palm Pilot.
That's why I said I know where this is going.
And he had left. That's another story. We're gonna save that story for another day.
That is that's a doozy.
The PP.
Palm Pilot.
Sorry. Okay.
Inside joke. Sorry, y'all.
Inside joke. Sorry. And he had left his journal there. And in the journal, mind you, we were in a relationship. He had talked about hanging out with his friend's ex-girlfriend and how incredible she was.
Oh, God.
And basically was gushing in his journal. Mind you, we in a relationship, y'all. Okay. Gushing about it. Now, here's the problem with not minding your business.
That page would have got
right?
ripped out.
Here's the thing. Right? One, discernment is always a good thing too, right? However, when you go looking for something, you are going to find it. And what I found, on top of compounding the insecurities that I had about everything that I discussed earlier, because this was still like in my early 20s, and that just crushed me. I just felt like...
It crushed most people.
Right. And I was just like, and I couldn't have the conversation with him about it because I invaded his privacy and read his journal. And that relationship created so much insecurity for me in at least 3 more relationships after that, because I never felt good enough, and I never addressed it, and I just continued to fall into. I was going by my deficit instead of being like, you know what, 1, fuck him. 2, we're done. Yeah. Like, you should probably go ahead and be with her. But again, insecurities will allow you to accept things that you are definitely. Let me rephrase this. I'm not articulating it properly. Insecurity will allow you to accept shit that you would never accept if you knew your worth.
Yep.
And I didn't know my worth, and I stayed for another 1.5 years, and it was just a consistent.
You was able to stay and not say shit. See, that would have ate me up. We would have had that conversation that night. I'd have ripped the page out and showed him.
And then here's the thing, and then show. But here's
bye.
But here's my point. Even if I did that, he's going to do what he wants to do. So me having that conversation, if you're gonna look and leave, by all means. But if you're gonna look and stay, mind your business.
So you was able to still be intimate with your man, knowing he felt this way about somebody else. That I tip my hat off to you.
No, don't tip your hat. That shit is sad.
It's
not.
What I'm saying,
do not tip my hat. I'm telling you. I'm saying this story. Don't ever stay in the place where your work. Okay. I was like,
I'm saying,
don't ever stay in a place in a relationship where you're not being honored. No. And that's really what it was. And it was just it. My point was,
I couldn't do it.
How I know. And that's where, after that relationship, 1938 came along.
And you didn't learn your lesson from the first time.
I didn't. And then
went more snooping.
And went snooping again.
But she was a good ass snoop, though. I mean,
I was. I've retired. But this was all.
I utilized her once or twice, and she was on point. I went to the bathroom and came back, and she cracked the fucking code.
Here's the thing.
Bitch. I told you, she opened up your Inspector Gadget.
I mean, she make that a side business.
You need to be an investigator. Find the man for the so he can get his little woman. She's like, I got 5 kids and he's trying to duck and dodge me, and I need to make sure I serve him. She'll find.
I am not going to be Joy the bounty hunter. Would be like, no, Joy the bounty hunter. No, I'm not, or a process server. No, I ain't doing none of that shit. But my point is, I did not work through my insecurities, and they just got worse and worse over time, and worse in the very next relationship, until 1938 came along and I caught my ex sleeping with his coworker at New York Sports Club. Yeah, you. You know who
Dirty
it is.
bastard.
I actually got banned from New York Sports Club because I went in there and got real ghetto on her.
Oh my God.
Don't ever do that, honey. She knows, if the girl knows you exist, right? And she
don't give a fuck.
No, she don't give a fuck. And you can keep him, baby.
Yeah, that part.
That's the thing. If you happen to find out, and you can keep him. But again,
that's your problem. That's your headache now.
Right. But if you are operating from your insecurities, you are accepting, you're holding on to that man. You're mad. It's like, no, you should be mad at yourself for attracting a motherfucker like this.
Girl.
Accountability ain't a dirty word.
It's not.
So needless to say, I'm rambling again. However, the relationships that were after that were absolutely awful until I had to spend a few years single and doing some work. And then the relationships that came after that were actually exceptionally healthy. And I didn't feel the need to be minding my man's business. And if the relationship had ended, it was because of, I had one relationship that was a great relationship. We probably, would have still been together, except, well, no, because I met the love of my life after that. But we weren't able to move forward because we lived in different states. We had a long distance relationship. And I would have had to pick up and move everything to where he was because he had kids and he had stuff like that. And it was like
that right there shows your growth in you letting go of your insecurities, because it takes, and I've been in a long distance relationship. Yeah. You have to be extremely secure within yourself.
And I was.
When you got to get on a plane to see your man. That's not easy. I've been there.
And I was. In that long distance relationship, I was secure.
I was too.
I was like, I didn't think he was, I didn't.
But the dude right in Brooklyn, showing his ass. It make sense. But okay. It's just the person.
But it's also you.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the person.
Yeah. What are you attracting?
Yeah.
So needless to say, I did the work. Do the work. Don't make decisions out of your insecurities, and just acknowledge your insecurity. I think a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that they're insecure because of ego as well, because that's something that people are embarrassed about. And I think if people have more conversation about their insecurities, and I think I'm fleshing this out at the same time, I think people are nervous to have conversation with people about insecurities because people will try to use them against you. And that's where growth comes in. You know that you have worked through something when someone tries to come at you about it, and you're like, I know this is my deficit. I know this is what I'm working on. You can't hurt me with that. You can't hurt me with that because I have seen it, unwrapped it, worked through it, and I'm in a different place. So if I share something with you in a moment of vulnerability and you try to throw it back at me and try to play me or feel like you're getting somewhere, you're not. Because if I'm having the conversation about the insecurity, best believe I'm working on it, working through it, and it's done.
See, some people only want to reflect on the positive in their life. They always want to, it's easy for them to brag and say what they got and where they go and what they can buy and what they can do all that, but they don't want to do the work to see the other side, which is the not so great side. And usually that's where, when you tap into that, that's when you grow the most.
Right.
That is going to make you your best self.
Right.
Because reflection and doing the inner work and self-reflection daily is what makes you become the person God called you to be. So it's time for y'all to just start peeling back the layers like an onion and say, what is the things that I need to work on? Where's the insecurities from? Is it somebody else? Did I grow up with it? Is it social media? Because social media will be a huge factor in why a lot of people are insecure. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're looking at this person who just had a BBL. Why are you killing yourself when someone just... And then that's no shout out to anybody. That's no shot to anybody. No shade. Everybody can do what they want to do.
Absolutely.
But you should not look to somebody else and what they do and then try and kill yourself to do it. But that's not my third one. I don't want to cut you. Is that?
No, I think that the problem with social media is, please understand that social media is it's not even a facade.
To a point, some people do lie. They only show you the good shit and they don't show you the bad.
Understand that social media is a highlight reel. What people are showing you on social media are the successes. Yeah. Okay? That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the success. You're not seeing the sleepless nights. You're not seeing the drama that they went through. You're not seeing the things that they've loved, the things that they've lost, the things that they had to go through, the things that they've overcome. Because nobody's really showing you that. They're showing look at my success. So when you're looking at people's success, one, you should always be happy for someone else because you don't know what they've gone through to get there. All right. So you should always applaud people for getting stuff done and for accomplishing things. However, one thing you should never ever do is allow it to make you feel insecure about what you have in your life because you are only seeing one aspect of it.
There are people who also actually do put themselves out there. I've put myself out there in quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to be transparent, very hard for me to be that honest with everybody, people I don't know who watch the show, people I do know who watch the show, people who prejudge me and think that they know sin. So a lot of people do put their insecurities out there and then get made fun of and then get, talked about. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You want people to be their authentic selves. And when they show up as their authentic self, you have something to say about it. Don't even get me started on it. Third,
tangent,
are you done? Yeah,
I am done.
You ready?
Are you done?
Okay.
Is you done?
Is you done, girl?
Is you done or is you done?
This last one is a doozy. So I have dealt with insecurities at my job in work over the years. I am in corporate America. I've been in corporate America for over 2 decades. I've always had a demanding job. I love my job, as I've stated numerous times. I wouldn't be in it, my actual title, I wouldn't be in it for 15 years if I did not. However, there's something that a lot of people may not know, which is called the old black tax. And the old black tax kind of really means in certain settings, especially in corporate America settings, Black people have to work 2 times, 3 times as hard just to be proven equal to our white counterparts. And I have been looked over. I have been questioned. I have, like I said in a previous episode, I have sat there, came in with my business suit, ready to go over negotiations with a vendor. He's there. I give him my business card. He gives me his. We sit down. He's looking over my shoulder. And I turn around and I say to him, are you waiting for a colleague or is there something wrong? Oh, there's no one else joining us? Like you don't have another colleague joining us? Which code word was, where's the white man? Because there's no way you're smart enough, Black girl, to sit up here and negotiate these contracts with me. And I turned around and looked over my shoulder and I looked at him, and it took everything in my power to bite my tongue and to stay professional. And I said, nope, you got my undivided attention. And went through the process of it. He was a fucking asshole and a complete douche. But that old black tax is something I've had to deal with for 2 decades. And it's hard because I bite my tongue a lot. And I bust my ass at my job because, number 1, I'm a hard worker. Number 2, I know the old black tax is there. And it's really frustrating because then you have people that don't look like me, that's not Black and brown, subpar. Their work ethic is never questioned. It should be. Their degree has never been questioned. It should be. And it's that created an insecurity within me. Am I good enough? Am I really as good as I feel or think that I am? Yeah, I am.
Damn
I
right.
always was.
Damn right.
But it's crazy how a lot of Black people in this country specifically always got to feel that they got to outdo and stay later and do that extra presentation and go the extra mile when you look over to your left and your right and people are doing bare minimum. Now, that's just going to propel me. I'm not going to do bare minimum because I'm not a bare minimum chick. I've always worked hard. I've always grinded from elementary school up until college and even now.
Right. But
I should not have to work 3 times as hard to be looked at equal with white people. It is something that I know quite a few friends of mine have dealt with and still deal with in corporate America, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But if you are one of those people out there, remember you are enough. Yeah. Even if it's not in corporate America, just remember, period, you are enough. God made you beautifully, and you are wonderfully and beautifully made in God's image. God made you who he called for you to be.
Yep.
Now, whether or not you're completely operating in that, that's different. And that just takes some self-reflection and some inner work.
Yeah.
But the word insecurity insecure is actually a really powerful word, because once you identify it and then you get past it and you do the work, First of all, you're going to be happier.
Yep.
Number one.
Yep.
You're going to walk with confidence. Number two. And you're not going to care about keeping up with the Joneses or what anybody else going on. As Joy said, social media and most people only show you what they want you to see.
Yes.
So going forward, and for me, I just want everyone out there that's watching to sit down, maybe write down your own insecurities. You don't have to share with anybody else.
Nope.
We're doing this in hopes that you do. You don't have to get on camera.
Business in the street.
We putting it all in the street. We're not asking you to get a camera and to put your business on Instagram, social media, or YouTube.
And on YouTube.
We're not asking you to do that. But I would hope that you would take a journal or take a Post-it, whatever. Take your notes in your phone. And to yourself, maybe jot down some things that you feel you've been insecure about and sit and mull it over and say, well, what caused it? And say, is this something I've let go of? Or is this something that is still festering in me? And is this something I need to work on? And I challenge you to work on it. Do the work, because when you do the work in any facet of your life, I'm telling you, you are your vibrational level is going to rise. You're going to attract people that have good energy. You're going to attract people that just want to be around you for yourself because you are exuding, you're confident in who you are. So look up the word insecure if you did not remember it, or just rewind and watch the whole show over. You could do that too. But yeah, just work on it, because you're enough. You're dope. I tell myself I'm dope every day. I tell myself I'm amazing every day. I have positive words of affirmation every day to myself. And I don't say it to nobody else. It's not for anyone else's ears. You don't have to tell everybody, but you have to tell yourself. And if you believe in God, talk to him, because he will not steer you wrong.
And listen, ain't nothing wrong with loving yourself. I think the problem is, I think people, when we say selfish, it's such a bad connotation. Sometimes you do need to be selfish. You need to be selfish with your time. You need to be selfish with your energy. You need to be selfish with certain things when it comes. Don't play about you, because you can never pour from an empty cup. And if you're not getting up under these insecurities, they're going to pop up in different ways in your life. And you're going to be like, why does this keep happening? Because you keep attracting it, because you have low self-worth. That's the correlation. And until you go ahead and fix that and be honest with yourself, again, it's really not easy to do that.
Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change. And like my favorite line, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. Can we control everything? No. But are you actually changing the things that you can control? And you got to be honest with yourself. You can't be mad at the work you didn't do.
People do it all the time.
Exactly. You cannot be angry at the work.
Else.
Yeah. You can't be angry at the work you didn't do. If you ain't do the work, then you're not going to get the prize.
Sit your ass down.
And if you try to shortcut it, you're going to still, vibrationally, don't think you can shortcut vibrations.
And you're going to end up in the same place.
And you're going to be like, why do I keep attracting these men?
Or
attracting these circumstances, or these bosses, or these friends, or these strangers that treat me this way? Because you're not doing the full-on work. So whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. And I am speaking from we are speaking from full-on experience. And is the journey over? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because once you get one thing done, you're going to find something else that you're like, ooh, or you're going to be tested on your healed parts. Once you say you've healed from something, you will be put through a test.
Or if you pray and ask for deliverance from something, or ask for patience, God is not going to grant you patience. He's going to put you in situations where you have to practice.
And then
patience. It's the difference. You're not just going to wake up one moment, I am patient.
I am
Thank
healed.
you, Lord. It don't
healed.
work that way. It is going to be to where every other day or every day until you really realize you've done the work. You're going to be put in situations all the time. And that's my story. I pray for patience, because I am impatient with certain things I pray about it, and lo and behold, every morning or every other day, God be like,
how evolved
I got something for you, my daughter. How you've been doing the work? You really think you've been doing the work?
I ain't been doing no work, Dad. Forget it.
Yeah, and then I slip, I fall, then I gotta get up. So that's all we're telling you to do. If you slip and fall,
you gotta get up.
That's it.
That is all.
That's it.
Yeah, and don't allow your insecurities to ruin your life.
And keep you from, life can be sweet if you let it be. And don't make other people insecure. How about that? Because a lot of people project what they are already going through. So sit your ass down and stop projecting.
Yep.
You see somebody, and there's a lot of people out there that I'm just gonna call it a spade a spade. There's some people, there's some hateful ass people out there that just they love and leech off of people that are going through something because they're miserable themselves. So don't
and it makes them feel better.
Yeah, don't be that asshole.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Don't
you
be
more fucked up than me.
Don't be that asshole.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that because karma's a bitch. Work on your own insecurities. If you see somebody else struggling, if you're not close enough to speak to them about it, you notice some people, you could tell sometimes by the way people sit. Body language doesn't lie. You can tell if somebody's struggling with that. Give them a compliment. You know what? Stop fidgeting. You're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody's going through something, pray for them. Prayer's free, and they don't even know you're doing it. Pray for them.
Amen.
But have humanity and care about other people and care about yourself. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing more for me.
I don't think. Work on your insecurities. Love yourself. Love those around you. And this world is hard to be in, and life can be really hard. Life be lifing, but we just want you guys to be better each and every day. We're striving to be better each and every day. So work on those insecurities and be good and kind to yourself and others. That's it.
And my favorite, this is going to be my thing now. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Peace.